Hey, good afternoon.
I think you're on mute. Anyway, let's wait maybe one more minute, maybe a couple of minutes, and then just start. Okay, we have free pass, so let's kick off and let me share my screen. So, hi everyone. Today's webinar is dedicated to smart search training, and today, together with James, representing Global IT, we wanted to highlight smart search improvements that would serve retrieving internal ADL knowledge. So just wanted to give a quick reminder. I don't know if you were here last summer, but when last time we conducted Global Knowledge webinar for consultants, it was in July when we launched the new knowledge process and the vault, etc. So I remember we conducted a poll asking what's your biggest challenge with internal knowledge, and the answers revealed a few pain points, and especially like difficulties to find what you need, difficulties to locate the document, and also like they people did not actually fully trust what they were able to find in internal systems. So with this in mind, we have built the new improved smart search to address exactly this. So today I will highlight where do we stand in terms of overall knowledge retrieval capabilities, where do we come from, where we are heading, what the new smart search can and can't do, and James will demonstrate all the new features of improved smart search, recommend best search paths, so you can integrate smart search in your day-to-day tools. So let's go. And first, I wanted to really give you a broader, little bit strategic overview of what's happening on the knowledge side of the things. So 8 months ago, we began formally structuring the knowledge process and function, and we structured this transformation around five key pillars. Number one, we started with process, governance, workflow, capabilities, establishing this discipline around knowledge capture and curation, establishing standards, ownership. Number two, we addressed the behavioral dimension of it. So we are working intensely on adoption and accountability here to embed knowledge capture, knowledge contribution, and reuse as a new normal behavior in ADL. Number three and four, we tackle the data layer. So on the one hand, we really focus on content centralization to defragment our knowledge access, knowledge centralization involved. On the other hand, we are working on data quality and taxonomy. And last but not least, and I guess the key point of today's presentation is the tech infrastructure that is being built, this tech backbone to enable this secure, scalable, and easy knowledge access across the firm. So 8 months later, where do we stand today? So for years, if you remember, our model was largely SharePoint based, right? It was based on Microsoft out of the box keyword search, but also uneven sanitization of materials, which was done or not, limited governance, and knowledge dispersed across different locations. So today we exited this phase, and we have now entered the governed knowledge platform phase with Vault, which means three structural shifts here. So first, knowledge today is being centralized actively into the Vault with the goal to finish this fragmentation across different local repositories, which is a major pain point in ADL. Second, this content is sanitized, structured, and governed because we want to create this consistency in quality of materials and access. And third, search is no longer just storage-based. It is built on this curated, managed, protected, centralized foundation, which is Vault for us today. So this is a critical inflection point in our overall knowledge maturity because these are the prerequisites for us to help us moving within the next few months into AI-assisted knowledge retrieval phase. But first, very soon in Q2, will allow you to retrieve knowledge based on natural language queries. And then as a target state, you will be having the two-way interaction with AI that would clarify your needs as a user and execute this knowledge search for you as sort of your personal knowledge assistant. So now let me give you a high-level overview of the current Smart Search capabilities that James will showcase in detail in a few minutes. So I guess in ADL, when we need qualifications or past work or relevant experience, people would often rely on informal outreach and networks. People would ask around or send an email, maybe use a WhatsApp group, whatever. So the bottom-up feedback that I'm hearing is that we depend a lot on word of mouth. And while this can work, sometimes obviously it doesn't scale because this access is dependent on who you know. It leaves a lot of knowledge unusable. The new Smart Search is our step away from this model. So today it is a front end for this structured firm-wide knowledge retrieval. And when we say retrieval, we mean that today Smart Search provides access to sanitized debrief documentation from mid-22 onwards. This is constantly expanding, and this is stocked in Vault, and all this is quality content because it is sanitized, tagged, and structured. Obviously, this is not our final destination because the tool, it is keyword-based, it is focused on retrieval of knowledge. It doesn't provide you with synthesis or insights extraction, but it is operational today. It reduces this friction, it increases visibility of our internal knowledge. Because instead of asking like 3 people and waiting for replies, you can now directly access this knowledge, which is available and that you can reuse in your next whatever pitch proposal. And I guess here I would hand it over to James, who will demonstrate the features and how you should search for knowledge in Smart Search. So James, over to you now.
Sure, thank you. If you jump to the next slide, please, Elena. So what can Smart Search do today?
I think you're on mute, James.
Oh, can you hear me? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I can hear you, James.
You can hear me?
Yes, we do hear you.
Yes.
Elena? Okay, cool, perfect.
Okay,
great. Always fun when you're doing something like this, if you're on mute or not. So yeah, today, so what can Smart Search really do? So this helps to accelerate business development, proposal, and case delivery. And this is through access to these sanitized past case materials that Elena said. So in regards to helping on the sort of business development, proposal, and case delivery side, Smart Search can retrieve prior quals, proposals, project materials on a specific topic. You can then from that extract reusable and proven credentials, and then leverage past projects materials to help you get up to speed. So the whole point of this is so that you don't reinvent the wheel. If you have a proposal come in, it's always a quick turnaround time, and you want to be able to see what we've done before, how we can reuse it, and even individual slides that might be reusable in their full format, or even just the way that they look or the content within them. The second aspect, what it can help you do is confirm our experience and identify any sort of deeper case information about this. So we can validate, have we delivered any similar work before, through our searches. We can confirm if we have, do we have reusable assets? But we can also look at case metadata. So for example, the details of the delivery team. So this is useful both if we have delivered work before, but also if we maybe haven't, because then you can connect with those people for insights that go beyond the debrief documents. So this might be, you've got this qual and you said that this was a challenge. Can you talk me more through this? I've got a project coming up and I would like to sort of learn from what you did previously. Or if there isn't any material, could you help direct me to it or just provide me a bit of an overview about what you did? And if we jump to the next slide. So Smart Search currently is primarily a keyword-based tool. So it will carry out a search of keywords across ADL's document repository, so both Vault and Knowledge Zone, but also across our case database. So this is effectively map data. So I'll talk through the document search on the left-hand side. So what the document search does and how it works is it searches the document titles and the text of the documents that are available, so the debriefs of the quals, proposals, etc. What it does is it matches the exact words. It won't match concepts. So if you're using a terminology like sustainability that might have multiple different names that people use, some people might say sustainability, green energy, net zero. I'm sure there's plenty more that I can't remember. It would only search for that particular word. When you do get the results back, they are ranked based on the statistical relevance of that word within the search. So this usually is how frequently the word comes up within the document and the size of the document. So what sort of questions it answers are, do we have reusable materials? Do we have credentials that we can reference? Is there any content that we have previously that we can adapt rather than recreate? And what have we delivered in similar situations? So with the document search, this primarily sits above Vault, which has debriefs on mid-2022 to today. We have debriefs going in every single day. And there is also a way to search Knowledge Zone, but please note that this is now nearly a year old, all of the documents in there, because Vault is now the place where you upload documents and store documents. We also have case searches. So what this does is it searches case titles from MAP along with some of the metadata to do with the cases. And when you see the results of this, what you will see is the name of the case, you'll see the status, the client, the business unit, the case start date, and some debrief indicators. So have documents been uploaded to this either in Knowledge Zone or in Vault? What you can also see is more information about the case, so who delivered this. So this is really useful to be able to contact people if you want about a certain case, the partner in charge or someone involved, and say, hey, I want to speak about this case. I've got something coming up similar. And these are the real questions that it starts to answer: is have we done a similar engagement before? If we have, then what industry, geography, or context? Whether this has been debriefed, either in Knowledge Zone or in Vault, the delivery team, and as mentioned, if we have the delivery team and it hasn't been debriefed, we can contact them for additional insights. But I guess overall, just I guess a key thing to remember is that it's a keyword-based index. It's search based on keyword. It won't interpret meaning or answer questions at this point in time. We jump to the next slide, Elena. So how do you search effectively in Smart Search? I will take you through a quick demo after this, but just a high level approach of how we'd recommend doing this and sort of best practices. So firstly, we'd always recommend to try and get the maximum recall with the keywords. So you can use different keywords. So this might be a topic, an industry, a concept, to get a first list of information. So this would be quite a big list, but we'll talk through how it works later. If you do want to have exact phrases, so you have an exact topic that you want to just find, you can use quotation marks. With the example here, if you don't use quotation marks for post-merger integration, it would search for things without the hyphen, so it would have the space in between. However, if you wanted to search for things that just had that exact term, post-merger integration written in that way, then you could search within quotation marks. Really important is to expand with synonyms. I used the example earlier of sustainability. Another great example is AI roadmaps. If you're looking for AI roadmaps, people might call them different things. They might call them a digital roadmap, an AI strategy, an innovation roadmap, etc. So it's really useful to put in multiple different synonyms to look around if they've been called something different in a different case, or maybe there's something really similar but it's not quite an AI roadmap. With local, if you want to locate diligence work, the term market assessment works really well. Obviously, using the typical approach as well, but market assessment can be a term that's can be used to find this easily. And as mentioned, the results are ranked based on the word frequency, not the business relevance. So even though the results at the top of the list should be more relevant to your search, they might not necessarily be. So would recommend going through multiple different pages of this and checking out the documents and seeing. Once you have done that, once you do have a big list of documents, what you can start to do is add filters. So what these do is help sort of break down a large set of results into specifically what you're looking for. So for example, if I was looking for AI roadmaps, I could put in that terminology along with my synonyms, and I could start using the filters. So I can break this down by document type filters. So if I was just looking for quals, I can filter by industry and functional practice. So this is based on the tagging of the case to map. I could sort by the date or focus on a particular time frame. So this then allows you to really drill into, I want to have the most recent AI roadmap that's been, I guess, uploaded within the last 6 months. And I want to see how it's been shown in a proposal or something along those lines. What you can obviously do is try and find the documents if they exist. If we are looking for a case search and we can't see any documents, then you can identify the delivery team and reach out to them for any sort of additional information. I guess what's really important is just because there aren't any results, it doesn't mean that we haven't done this before or we don't have any experience in it. As Elena mentioned, with the document search, this search only reflects the debrief discipline that we currently have, so around 50% of cases. And with case searches, the data is sourced directly from MAP. And the data that we have about the cases are just limited to the small amount of metadata and the case names. Some case names might be something like Project Pinocchio, which doesn't really talk about its significance and what it was about, whereas others might be a bit more descriptive on it. And I guess, as mentioned, it does not automatically expand synonyms. So it's really important to use multiple different synonyms. Even I find myself Googling or using ChatGPT, what's different synonyms that might be used to find this so that I can put this into my search. So what I'm going to do is go through a quick demo of this. I'll just take over and share my screen. So if you're not already aware, you can access Smart Search by going to smart.adlittle.com. You'll be presented with this screen. You can also find it through the Hub and the Hive if that's easier. But you'll see the search bar here. I'm sure most of you are already aware of it. But here is where you can start your search on Smart Search. So in this example, I am going to look for, I guess, documents to do with electric vehicles. In this circumstance, let's assume that I've got a proposal coming up and I'm looking for, firstly, any good proposals that we've done previously around electric vehicles. But secondly, I'm looking for any quals that I can maybe reuse in this proposal, to obviously demonstrate that we've done this work previously. So what I'm going to do is input a term. So even though this is about electric vehicles, I've included a few different terminologies like EV, BEV, PEV, electric cars, vehicles. So this will cover multiple different synonyms. And I can search this. What we see is the results come back, and we initially have 1,344 results. So there's quite a lot of results on here, which is great. We can see the ranking and the ordering of the results that come back, and we can read through some of the titles and some of the summaries of these and see a bit more information. With some of these documents, for ones that are particularly long, we're not able to produce a summary just because for a 200-slide document, it's really hard to produce a summary and it might be a bit more confusing. So some we do have summaries available, some we don't. But you can see even from the titles that a lot of these seem quite relevant to the search already. Understanding OEM strategies and alternative industry scenarios for EV. This one about EV charging. This is about a two-wheeler in Vietnam. So all of these things ultimately look like they meet my search term at the start. So what I could first do is have a look at these documents and see how relevant they are. So I could preview these documents and they would open into a new screen. And they will take a second to load. And I could start reading through these and understanding, do these meet my use case? If not, refine my search. But, it gives me my first look at some documents here and whether they sort of cover my use case. So if I've done that and I've maybe seen, we've got a few proposals here that are good. So these are, I can see all of these are project materials, proposals, etc., etc. But what I really want is quals. What I can do is go to the filter for document file category and I can select quals. What this will do is obviously filter my results. It will reduce my total results to 293. And I can see that the list has been updated. I see that we have these documents that are quals at the top. I can see that, again, these are related to my search terms. We see things like truck charge points, etc., which means that they're pretty close to that. But that might not be enough for me. I might want to break this down even further. So I might want to say, for example, I only want ones that took place this year. So I can use the case start date to define that. I can pick, last 3 months, last 6 months, last year, or a date window. But just to make it easy, I'm just going to select last 3 months. And what we can see from here is that we jump down to 2 results here. So there's 2 quals that meet these queries that have been updated in the last 3 months. That I can then see the case start date here. And I could then go and open. You as well have other filters in here, for the industry practice and the functional practice, along with the ability to sort by. So if I felt that filter was a bit restrictive, and I don't necessarily want ones in the last 3 months, but I do want to just sort by the most recent ones, I can just click on the sort by filter, and we can see that we're sorting by chronologically from present to past, based on the case start date. So we're going back to all the documents there. So that's the document search and how to search within documents. Next, I'm just going to take you through the cases search. So the case search is accessible from the tab here that says cases. When you go onto Smart Search, it immediately redirects you to documents. That's the first search. If you do want to carry out a case search, you'll just need to click on this button. It will continue your search term on from the last search. So if I wanted to change this, I'd have to rewrite it, but it's given me search results again for electric vehicles, EV, BEV, etc., etc. Again, I can see my results down here. So I've got 115 results in this case. In this example, and what we have here a range of different cases that meet my search terms. So again, from the titles, I can see that a lot of these documents seem to be relatively relevant. Electric vehicles, electric vehicle strategy. Some I'm not sure. That I'm not. They might be. They might not be. But we see a lot of cases that might be relevant here. What I can do is I can click on these cases and see more information. But from this view, what I can see is a high-level overview of the case code and the business unit and whether this document has been debriefed. So I can see if it's been debriefed on Knowledge Zone or if it's been debriefed in Vault. In this case, it hasn't been debriefed on these. So what I could do is open up the case and see the people involved in this case. In this example, there's only one person involved, but I'll be able to contact them and get more information, maybe ask them a bit more about it. Within Case Search, we also have the ability to use filters. So we can filter on document type, so proposal, project material, quals, etc. So this is, if I filter on this, then this will show cases that have had documents that have been debriefed on them. I can filter by market. I can filter by the industry practice. and I could filter by the functional practice. So in this scenario, again, let's say I'm looking for quals. So I want to apply this filter and see which ones that meet my term have got filters, have got documents debriefed. So I can see here now that 21 of these cases have been debriefed. We can see that they are lit up if a file's been debriefed for the document. We have this sort of indicator showing for knowledge zone, but also for Vault. And we can scroll through and see a bit of this information here. So what I can do is click on one of these if I want, open the document and open the case and see a bit more information about this. So I can again see the overview of this. I can see the Vault documents we have on this with links. I can see the knowledge zone documents if applicable. In this case, this case came from 2023, so that's why we have knowledge zone. And again, I can see everyone involved in this. If I want to access these documents, I can just click on them and I'll be sent to the link to do that. And I can download or preview these documents. So that's a very quick overview of how we can use the search to both find documents and to find cases. As mentioned, there are multiple different search terms that we can use for this. So we would recommend going through and using multiple different terms. Even for electric vehicles, there might be different ones that we would want to do. But as well, really thinking of the meaning behind your search. What are you looking for? So in this case, in this example, I'm just looking for electric vehicles. But is it because I'm doing a due diligence? Is it because I'm doing a operating model? Whatever it might be, because there's multiple different sort of avenues that we could go down with the search to find documents and find information that would be relatively useful for my sort of new proposal here. Elena, anything I missed or you'd like me to cover further?
Oh, James, I think it was a pretty complete demonstration. Maybe, do anyone have any questions to James about document or case search or how Smart Search works? No, then I think he was super clear, and thank you for this demonstration. Okay, so back to the slides, and I wanted to highlight very quickly the status of the knowledge zone, especially in Smart Search. So we are progressing with Vault centralization, but knowledge zone is still available, both in terms of content that it hosts, and also obviously the Smart Search can retrieve knowledge zone content. So currently by default, it would retrieve Vault and cases, but if you go under three small dots right on the left side of the cases, you can still access knowledge zone, okay? So by accessing knowledge zone, you access legacy documentation, and the scope would cover 2017 to June 2025, given that a big chunk of this content is already migrated to Vault, sanitized and migrated. So it is still here. It should be used with caution. Why with caution? Because first, as I mentioned, content sanitization may be uneven. There are materials that have not been sanitized and are still available in knowledge zone. So if you are using it, don't assume that this content is safe for use. You should always check it actually prior to sending to anyone or reusing it. And second, access rights can be permission dependent. So in knowledge zone, permissions were set by every single uploader of the document on document level. So sometimes you can spend time looking for a document, locating it, and not being able to access it, which can be frustrating. Our goal is to move last 15 years of documentation to Vault by sanitizing it, so it takes some time. But as of today, my recommendation will be always search Vault first for validated safe content, and in any case, ensure proper confidentiality checks before reuse. So any questions with regards to knowledge zone content? No, okay. Thanks, thank you. So I would go to